Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Good Hang. I am so excited about this episode. It is the great Rachel Dratch, my friend for almost 30 years and America's favorite. And we are going to talk about so much good stuff. We're going to talk about growing up in Massachusetts. We're going to talk about our love for the musical Annie. And we're going to go behind the music and do a deep dive into the world famous clip that kicked this podcast off and that has kept us laughing ever since. So get ready for a great interview. Before we start, we always like to talk to someone who knows our guest, is a fan of our guest, has a question that they want to give me. And I'm very excited to talk to Kevin Cahoon today. Kevin is a dear friend of Rachel. He is an incredible actor, musical theater pro, Tony nominated for the great musical Shucked, and you can catch him in a million other things. And Kevin is zooming in to get things started. Kevin, hi. This episode is brought to you by Palmolive. Some of the best memories you'll ever make are around the dinner table. You'll never regret trying out those new recipes that may or may not go sideways, or putting on a spread so big that your in-laws are still talking about it years later. Brownie points. So when it comes to the dishes, it's nice to know there's a product that works as hard as you do. Palmolive Ultra removes up to 99% of grease, leaving your dishes sparkling clean. Visit palmolive.com. Shop now.
I feel so lucky.
I feel so lucky.
I'm the luckiest. I get to see you on this Tuesday.
I know. I wish we were having margaritas with Dratch.
Hey, listen, wouldn't that be great? That's a good hang right there.
That is. For listeners, I've had a few margaritas with Kevin and Dratch over the years, pre-show, post-show, because both of you were on Broadway.
Well, listen, anytime I can hang out with you.
How are you?
I'm so great. How are you?
Where are we talking to you from?
I am in Texas at my mom's place, rural Texas, outside of Houston. It's a sunny day. We've had 4 days of torrential rain. And I'm dealing with these wild hogs. I know this is crazy. But they're wild feral hogs that show up in the middle of the night and they tear up your property. They travel in packs of 30. And I've set up alarms all around and I think they're working. But last night we had a few come and the alarms went off in the middle of the night, which there's nothing more terrifying. And I'm good with animals and I grew up with a lot of animals and I'm fine with animals. Not these animals. Not a fan. It's worth a Google if anyone wants to Google Texas wild feral hogs.
Well, I mean, the thing that I was so excited to talk to you about today is that you, like many of us, deeply love our guest, Rachel Dratch.
Beyond.
Tell me how you two first met.
We met doing a musical called Minsky's in LA, written by Charles Strauss and Susan Birkenhead and Bob Martin. It was coming to Broadway, a star-studded cast, and it closed in LA, which is, the great showbiz tale. But what you take away from experiences like that are the people, and you usually have one or two from each show. And I fell in love with Rach immediately. What's not to fall in love with? And she had told me she had gone to a psychic, that I think you had bought her this psychic reading for her birthday.
That's right. I should talk to her about that, because if she's open to it, because her and I both went to the same psychic at the same time when we were both pregnant.
Yes, that's right. And she had before the show, I would go to her dressing room and we would have a day catch up. What'd you do today? Who'd you see? Where'd you lunch? And she had said, I went to this psychic and this psychic told me that our show was going to close out of town. And we were like, they're crazy. That'll never happen. We're moving into the St. James Theater. Well, the psychic was right. But anyway, that was probably 15, 16, 17 years ago. And it has just been the most nourishing, fulfilling, steadfast friendship that I could have ever imagined. And then I've gotten to have new friends like you that I have met through Rach, and you know that they're a good friend when you meet their friends, and those friends become your friends as well. So it's just been the most rewarding friendship I could have ever imagined.
I hear you. I feel the same. I feel like there's a few friends that, and it's proven to be true now that Rachel and I have been friends for almost 30 years. There's a few people that you know in success and in, quote, failure, in good times and in bad times, they're going to weather that storm with you. And that's not always the case with everyone. Sometimes people are better when things are going badly, right? They like that. And sometimes people want to hear when you're succeeding. That's when they want to be along for the ride. But Rachel Dratch definitely is there for both if you're lucky enough to have her as your friend.
That is so true. And she's a wonderful gift giver. She never forgets an occasion where she's going to bring you a little something. I did a Broadway show that ran 9 months, and she was there opening night. She was there closing night. She was there in between. She came again. She brought friends. It's just, she is a cheerleader for those that she loves. She is a champion. She'll go to bat. Life is a little brighter when Rach is around.
Cahoon. Let's talk about Shucked, which is the show you're talking about.
That's true, yes.
I loved you in it and loved that show so much.
You were so dear to come.
Of course.
It meant the world to me. And let me tell you what, Amy Poehler, you're one of those friends, because not only did you come to Shucked, I did a production of La Caja Fall in the fall. You came to La Caja Fall. You are there. I mean, you birds of a feather fly together. You guys are just exemplary friends.
Oh, friend, thank you for saying that. That means a lot. And it's not hard work to go to a really fun show and watch you. Before we get to your question, I'm going to talk to Dratch a little bit about her Tony nom and her show POTUS, and because I know from being her friend how positive an experience that was for her. Like, great women that she became really good friends with, a Tony nom, a hilarious part. Do you remember that time and what she said about that experience when she was working on that show?
Well, here's the incredible thing, and it's so rare. She got a Tony nomination for her Broadway debut.
Damn.
Never happens. That is like remarkable. And I've seen Rachel on stage so many times at the Public, Shakespeare in the Park, Manhattan Theater Club. She is always the standout. And when you do a Broadway show, whether you want to admit it or not, there's always a part of you that thinks, maybe, just maybe, that childhood dream would come true. That show that I watch once a year in June, maybe I could be a part of that show. And then when it happens, it is just... it's the biggest embrace you could ever imagine from a community that you've always wanted to be a part of. And, a lot of people probably know Rachel from television and from film, but her theater career is just as sparkling and just as dynamic and diverse as her impact on TV and film.
Yeah, she's played so many different types of characters. It's actually a good question. She's played like men and dogs and people and like mothers and robots and whatever. She can do it all.
She can do everything. That's why you hire Rachel Dratch,
It's so true.
It's so true. We should all be as versatile as Rachel Dratch.
Okay, so Kev, what do you think? I mean, I could talk to Dratch and will probably today forever about so many things, the past, the present, the future. Anything you think I should ask her today?
Yes. It was hard to pick one question. I have two that I think are sparkly. One is about the theater, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that Rachel Dratch was a theater kid, and she went to theater camp, and her dream and ambition was to be in plays and in musicals. And then her career took a brilliant detour. I would ask her, little Rachel Dratch going to theater camp, what were her 3 beacons of light in the American theater? A musical, a performer. Who was it that filled her with, I wanna do that? That's what I want to be when I grow up.
Such a good question.
That was the one question. And then this is something that inspires me about Rachel. She brought us all Debbie Downer, one of the most iconic American comedic characters. When Rachel Dratch is thinking about feline AIDS and North Korean train accidents and insurrection, what is that catalyst that gets her out of her doom and gloom and brings her back to reality? That would be another question.
Debbie would want me to point out that it is good that you brought up feline AIDS because it is the number one killer of domestic cats.
Well, that's true. Listen, we've talked about feral hogs and feline AIDS. What's next, baby?
Texas, baby. These are such good questions, Kevin. And I don't think she knows that I'm talking to you today.
I did not tell her.
Okay, good. I didn't tell her either.
We had a little kiki yesterday and I was zipped-lipped. So.
Oh my God, I'm so happy because she's going to be so happy. These are really good questions. And I think nobody loves a good question more than Dratch. Like, if you ask Dratch a good question, she's like, that's such a good question.
She will say that, I guarantee you.
She will.
And I had told Blake Lee, who's a dear mutual friend of ours,
yes.
who was on for Dakota.
Yep.
I told him not 5 days ago, Amy, I was like, you were so incredible on Amy's podcast. It's so fabulous that you were on there. It is so chic. What a cool thing. I'm so proud of you. And then my phone dinged and it was you. And
Cahoots.
I can't thank you enough.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you.
Thank you for taking a break from fighting the hogs. And if you are eventually eaten by them, just know that our time together was so special to me.
It was. And I cherish every single minute.
All right. I can't wait to see you in New York, friend.
I love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for doing this. This episode is brought to you by Voco Hotels. You know, when you're traveling, it's nice to soak up the unique experiences, quirks, and characteristics of a hotel. And it is a shame when you go into a room and it is a carbon copy of every other room that you've been to before. But each Voco hotel across the U.S. has its own rhythm, local flavor, and unique detail, with beautiful rooms for catching up on me time and full-service bars and restaurants for us time. So come on in and live the Voco life. Book your next stay at vocohotels.com. Rachel Dratch is here.
Are we starting? Is it official?
Yeah, and we need to talk about... Wait, what?
When I do a podcast, I just need...
What do you got?
I need to put my headphones on. Let's get started here. I'll get this.
Rachel's pulling out the world famous headphones.
You've seen it. You've seen them before. This is my new trademark, everybody.
Smithsonian. These are going to be in the Smithsonian. The Academy of TV and Radio.
By the way, I didn't tangle this. This is how it came out. Where I was storing it. These are the
world
in their
famous.
natural state. World famous.
Rachel Dratch headphones.
It was a shot fired heard around the world. These headphones is where it all began. The chaos beginning.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
Now
that I'm with Amy, everything's all right. Okay, we don't even use these, but I had to bring those up.
Dratch
The historical item. Okay.
Of course, Dratch brings a prop. Brings the prop from home. For people that didn't see, our first episode of Good Hang, Dratch was in the group that was talking about our guest, Tina Fey, and boy, did we have a good time.
Oh my God. That was probably my biggest laugh of the year.
I just watched it again on the way over here, and we're going to get into it today. That
of course we are. People need to hear the behind the music.
Where were you?
Where were you when you saw the clip?
I mean, I owe you money for that clip. I owe you money for that clip. But it really was like, it started off the entire vibe of this show. Like, I'm so grateful for it because it started off exactly what I was hoping, which is I was hoping that this would be like fun and easy and a laugh. And that was the deepest laugh.
Oh my gosh. It was such a good laugh. Like, I mean, imagine like your best laugh ever. And then it's like recorded for you to watch again. Like that never happens because you can't plan that.
No. And also having Fred and Seth and Zarna there. And there's really no better, I would say, like, partner than Seth when Dratch is dratching because he's so good at keeping like things moving in a way or something like.
I mean, he was making me laugh so much.
So hard.
When he's like, Dratch, we're probably going to cut all this out. And then when I was like, I'm holding everything up. And he's like, no, this is how she wanted to start. Like, he was the perfect foil. The comedy foil.
Also, the thing that gets me, which is such a like improv and such a good example of what a good listener you are, is that at the very end, you clap, which is what we asked you to do 15 minutes before to get started. God, that clap.
End it with the beginning, people.
Let's just
Comedy 101. Okay.
Second prop use of this podcast is Dratch just swirling her ice drink.
Okay.
No, but it is like that. I have to say, when I was thinking about what to talk about today, I was like, we have had deep laughs.
We have.
It's like and you love to laugh, and the way Dratch has many kinds of laughs. And you have, like, I know people have done your laugh to you.
Oh, yeah. You go,
Also, when you go into like a level 2 laugh, when you're going down deep,
yeah.
you go, like you get very old school.
Oh, my gosh.
You do.
Wait, I just need to say, though, that when that was happening, that I didn't know that was going to be used for on camera.
Right.
Which
I didn't tell you that?
You did not tell me. I looked back at the texts and
I'm very sorry.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, it was the best thing ever. But I just mean for people wondering, like, why'd she order food, right? When there was a podcast happening. Like,
we could argue still with audio. Why did you?
Well, because I thought it was like a half hour of time.
True.
And then it came very quickly. And then my dog barked. And your dog's name is? My dog's name is Ruffles. And Ruffles started barking. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Do you remember, I think we talked about it, there was a hilarious, whoever is the TikToker who did this, somebody posted, there were many clips of it, and then someone went and looked at your chart.
Yes, my horoscope, whatever, zodiac.
Say?
Well, so I'm what's a Pisces, I didn't know this word. A stellium means all your things are in the same sign, like every single thing. Wow. But I guess there's one little thing. But this woman, she did my chart on TikTok and she was laughing really hard. She's like, how is this woman surviving with everything in Pisces? She's like, somehow she's making it work. But then I guess there's like one thing in Capricorn. She goes, this Capricorn is holding the whole rest of it all together. It's doing the work of, 10,000 men or something.
And she that kind of the Pisces final boss.
Yes. And I have wondered if other people were talking about ADHD, I guess. Yeah. And I have wondered if I have that as an adult. I don't know. But if you look at that clip, you're going to be like, yep.
I feel like it's like, I mean, we talk about it like in, the Pisces being a shorthand for like, it's in its best.
Chaos. I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But we're opposite.
We are.
Amy's
Virgo signs.
Amy's Virgo. By the way, I don't know much about signs, but I just know about this.
Either.
I just know about this.
I don't know. I do like astrology. I think it's cool. We like astrology. Yeah. We like Enneagram. We like anything that like is about personality stuff.
Yes.
But what's fun about talking about Pisces and Virgo is Pisces are kind of the fish that are floating through life, and Virgo is the virgin setting the rules. I don't know. And but I find like we do. I mean, I feel like you do definitely have a dream-like approach and an adventurous approach to life.
I would say that, yes.
Yes, I think you are like a curious traveler, and you definitely don't.
I feel shy. I feel shy. I feel shy.
She got shy. Did you see what happened?
The curious traveler. I'm trying to be myself.
I can't see. Dratch it was like a shy cloud came over.
Yeah.
But you are kind of shy.
I am shy, yes.
It goes without saying, we've been friends for 30 years. We are often mistaken for being the same person. Or like just the other day, we were in a public bathroom and someone's like, I saw your sister in the bathroom. Like they think we're sisters.
Yeah.
But you and I do definitely have like, if life was like a rom-com, like we would be like growing up next to each other. So
walking by each other in the mall, probably.
So
yeah.
Talk to people who don't know. You're like early Dratch. Where did she grow up? What was her life like?
Early Dratch grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts, next town over from Amy, but we didn't know each other. Although, we did work in the same ice cream store, which we always have to say, called Chadwick's. And if you don't know that, why not even living under a rock? But anyway, grew up in Lexington, and I don't know, I was shy when I was little, but I was always, I watched SNL when I was in third grade at someone else's house at a sleepover, like their older brother was watching it, and I was immediately like, what is this? But I definitely was. I don't know about you either. I wasn't like, I'm going to be an actor when I grow at all.
No,
like,
I didn't.
It was
think
just
I
for fun.
Even knew that was a job. Really. Yeah.
It was sort of like maybe a little dream at the back. Like when I saw Annie, the musical, I'm like, how are they up there? Where do I get one of those buckets?
Annie is. There should be a documentary about women our age and how we were affected by Annie.
Yeah. So, and then I did school plays, but I definitely was not like the queen of the drama club, I just did it for fun.
You did get a superlative though, and it was?
I did. I got class clown. Did you get class clown? Or did you guys do those?
We had class clown, but I didn't get it.
What? I'd like to know who did.
I was the second runner-up for most casual. You don't know this?
By the way, most casual. It's like, what did that even mean?
I don't know if it's in manner or dress, but didn't even get
second
close
runner-up
to superlatives.
Kind of casual.
Class clown.
But then let's see. I don't know. And then also, my dad was very funny, as you know.
Yep.
Paul Dratch. So we just kind of had like, he would do like this is funny. I ran into someone whose dad had gone to high school with my dad back when I was in high school, we were at the house.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, my dad said your dad used to always do impressions of the teachers when they left the room and have everyone laughing because he was doing it. Yeah. So like, I just sort of had that, it was in my blood. No, but it was sort of like in the atmosphere. And then.
But you did school plays. Getting class clown, you got to be funny in real.
I guess like in junior high, I started kind of like pipe up one-liners from the back of the room kind of thing. Yeah. But much to the chagrin of teachers, I'm sure. But then when I got to college, then there was an improv group there. And then I was kind of, like, I didn't even know what improv was back then. Well, now it's like
when you go to, so you're in high school in Lexington, Massachusetts, which a shot heard around the world that we just mentioned, like the birthplace of democracy. Right next to it was Burlington, Massachusetts, where I was from. And let's be honest, they were not different at all. There was maybe, right? Oh my God, look at Dratch. She just blanched.
The first time she said it.
Well, I was going to say, I exaggerated for effect.
Okay.
I exaggerated for effect.
Okay. But we shared a mall.
Well,
I often hung out at the Burlington Mall.
Yes.
We probably passed each other.
We did. I think we did.
At the Brighams or something.
We definitely, I felt like we had very parallel lives, like short, blue-eyed Massachusetts girls who, were good students, but wanted to be funny. And, and the Lexington, I always used to joke that Lexington is like for Parks and Rec fans, Lexington was the Eagleton and Burlington was the Pawnee is how it felt. Like we thought Lexington was where the rich people were. And what did you think of Burlington?
Burlington, I didn't think about, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like, how do I get Amy to see? No, first of all, I worked at Caldors.
Yes.
Which is across the Burlington line. I crossed town lines to work at Caldors with the Burlington Bad Girls.
And our teams played each other. On Thanksgiving Day. And so since then, we always call it, well, now they don't anymore, but we used to call each other up on Thanksgiving. Yeah, we used to trash.
Suck it, Burlington. Yeah.
We used to trash talk each other on Thanksgiving. Yeah. And then you go to Dartmouth.
I went to Dartmouth.
Ivy League, Rachel.
Yes.
And very, very but what was your experience there? Like, did you like it?
Well, great question. It was, but I went back in the 80s and it was very conservative back then. Which I didn't even really know what that meant, but it was just like, it took me a while to find my people there. Like, I had friends at the beginning and everything, but then the general ethos of it, I didn't feel like I really matched with.
Right.
And then I saw the improv group, like, some friend of mine from like acting class or whatever was like, come check this out. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, not like this, but I was kind of like, oh, I feel like I could do this.
We have very similar stories because same thing. I went to Boston College. I was trying to figure out how I fit in. Big,
really? I didn't know that part of it.
Big sports school, and lots of private
prep
school kids.
Which, as much as we joke about Lexington, we didn't have that prep school vibe of
No, we were
and I was
public
kind of
school
what
kids.
Person is the that was a big vibe.
I can remember going into people's dorm rooms and being like, how do you know how to get your dorm room so ready so fast?
Right. And they're like, I was living in Deerfield. I spent 3 years at Deerfield, and that's how. But I didn't know that you felt that way too.
Yeah. And so I saw an improv group my freshman year.
My mother's Fleabag.
Yes, and yours was?
Said and done.
Let's talk about
nothing like those improv group names. Yeah.
Our friend Brian Stack, who is a performer at Second City, used to love to talk about good and bad improv names and how they would either be really goofy,
right,
pun filled, or they would be very serious and pretentious.
Oh, I haven't heard this serious.
There was one, and if anyone's listening, and I as part of the group, I enjoy your work and I respect your work. But one of them he said was called Society's Mirror.
No. Is that real?
Good question. I don't know. There's no way to check.
Okay.
I could look at it on my laptop, but I think it's out of batteries.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So were you in Said and Done?
So then I got into Said and Done, and then I was like, oh, these are the fun people,
But you were a theater kid.
I don't know. I just did you did plays, right? Did you do plays?
Did you go to theater camp?
I did go to summer theater camp, yes. But not one of those I'm not saying this to be it wasn't those ones the real ones. Yeah.
It
wasn't professional, kids that were real. It was just suburban Boston, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, then that's where I met our pal Alec. But
yes.
But yeah, I wasn't the star of anything. I wasn't rolling in and then the lead and everything. I started out everything. I started out the chorus, and then you move up a little bit the next year. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think me and you, we didn't really know anyone that were actors or writers growing up, so I just never thought that would be a job.
Right.
Did you have an idea as a kid what your job would be?
I mean, every kid in third grade, I wanted to be a marine biologist, like us all, right? But no, everyone wants to be a marine biologist.
What do we think we're gonna do
I
there?
don't know, play with dolphins and save the nature. I mean, I actually legitimately was very in, and still am nature, a career in saving nature was something I actually when I was little. Then as you know, I wanted to be a therapist. But I also every time I'd see a movie, I was oh, I was just really intrigued, but I had no idea how you ever did that. And I also, to be really not self-deprecating, but I wasn't I felt I had special skill in acting or anything. But I loved
so funny
cracking jokes
you
and
get
doing
class
comedy.
clown, but yet you don't think you're
but
skilled.
Because it's not well, I'm an actor, not like that, but just I like comedy and I like watching it, and I had a group of funny friends too, so we would always a legit funny friend. So that was also sort of practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So you get to Dartmouth, you graduate, and what was your degree in?
It was drama, and then I minored in psychology.
Right.
And then, so my improv group, sophomore summer, we're on campus. We took this little trip because one of the guys from the group was from Chicago. So we went out to Chicago for a week just to check out Second City, Improv Olympic, and just go to all the little sites there. And then I was okay, maybe when I graduate, I'll come back here and try this, And I sort of just wanted to try it more to know that I'd given it a shot. I don't know how you were about this, but I was kind of, all you hear is it's so hard, you're never going to make it. That's all you hear so then I was buying into that. And then I was okay, I'm just going to go out and try Chicago, and then I won't make it, and then I'll come back and be a therapist in suburban Boston. And but then I don't know how much detail going into, but right when I got there, I did not get into classes at Second City. I heard everyone auditions gets into classes, and then I didn't get into classes, and then I was oh, what did I do? But then I just stuck it out, and then I took class later. Everything I did, I kind of didn't get the first time around, sort of.
Oh, interesting. You had to,
that, and then touring company, I auditioned and didn't get in. And then SNL I auditioned 2 times. Like just, but then you kind of get used to that, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so then I eventually got into the classes and then did like little theater things there and eventually got into the touring company.
So you get to Chicago, and do you remember when we first met?
I do. Well, in my memory, we were in the lobby of Second City, and you had just moved there, and you were in the touring company, I guess. I don't know if you were in it yet or just coming around to check it out or something. But anyway, I remember meeting you, and I remember you being really friendly and like, I would just say like sunshiny. Like it's not, you don't always remember meeting someone for the first time, but I do remember, at least in my mind, this was the first time. And I just remember you were like very like you are. You were very friendly and smiley and, you know, cute little blondie. And,
I remember meeting you, but I didn't meet you. I saw you. So I arrived, and you were kind of the junior to my freshman in Chicago, I would say. And I saw you on stage. You were in Lois Kaz, an improv show, very like kind of famous improv show, named after a woman.
A woman that worked in the office or something. I don't.
Yeah. Sketch and improv and comedy, it's just like music, right? Like it's like, oh, go check out this cool band. Like, oh, these 2 people are singing together. You know, you just were like watching groups and trying to figure out what was good. What did you like? And Lois, the show that you were in, was just like, oh, these are the cool, good improvisers. Go see them. And I remember, so the first time I saw you before we met, I saw you on stage. And I just remember, you know, I think like when you see someone on stage for the first time, it's a very interesting dynamic. Like you're just like forever looking up to them, like it feels like. And I just was like, oh, she's so funny. Like just loved being like watching you perform. Like just and you know, subsequently like we got to know each other in Chicago, and I was your understudy for
touring company for sure. Yeah.
So what is touring company for people who don't know?
Well, it's like your first step to getting into Second City, and you're not out on the road like for big long times. You're just like you're going to Indiana for the weekend, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like cutting your teeth. And I mean, you get paid a minimal sums. You're like, it's your first, like, I'm a working actor, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sort of your first step to moving up the little ladder there.
Yeah.
But,
and so we didn't get to tour together because I was only filling in when you were.
And then Amy struck out and moved to New York and started UCB, which I told you before that I was always just like, what do you guys do? Like, I didn't know you guys that well, but I was just like, what are they doing? Like, they're on track to, you know, you were already very successful in Chicago or like, whatever, successful, like known to be good improvisers, whatever. But then like you definitely would have moved up the ranks at Second City, but you guys had this like pioneer spirit of moving here and starting.
Well, this kind of like if the Dratch and Poehler rom-com is happening, this is where we kind of separate for a little bit to go find our own,
right?
Because I moved to New York. You're on a main stage in a very famous show at Second City, and then you meet Tina when.
Oh, so then Tina joined. Then the next show, then they changed it to 3 men, 3 women, which was like revolutionary.
Everyone was like, "What?"
I know, but
like 3 women together.
Equal? I know, but then Tina came in for the next show, my second show on main stage, called Citizen Gates, and she was, of course, hilarious from the get-go. And then we did 2 shows together, and then I started to get more comfortable up there and like being better at creating characters and all that. And then Tina went off to write for SNL after her second show. And then I stayed there.
How many more years did you stay there?
I was 4 years on the main stage. And it was such a fun job. I mean, it might have been like my favorite job ever.
Yeah, like to take us back to what it was like a day when you were on the main stage in Chicago.
Gosh.
What was that day like?
Well, I mean, I remember like you'd sleep really late, much later than I do now. But but then you're writing the show. If you're rehearsing, you're wriing the show by day. So you're in rehearsal all day. So, but you never wrote like how we did at SNL where you were like at a typewriter. What a typewriter. Okay.
Word processor. When you were at
I think I got a good one here.
When you had
Give me more paper. I'm on a paper, Schultzy. Ding. Okay. Computer is what they're called now. But no, like it's not like SNL when you're like, oh, let's think of something. We're in an office. It was all on its feet and like just someone had an idea.
Yeah.
And then you try it out in front of the audience. Or the audience would give a suggestion And then a scene would really hit from an audience suggestion. Like, let's try that again, but let's change this. So that's how we wrote the thing. And then eventually, like, the show would be done and it'd be set, and then you just do the show night after night. But the show is like sketch, like, for those that don't know, like SNL. And then afterwards, you'd improvise every night pretty much. And that's how you get really good at improvising, by just night after night after night. Because if I had improvised right now, I'd be like I'd linger in the back line. If you keep doing it like well-oiled machine.
So talk to us about, you get to SNL what year?
99.
Right.
Yeah, fall of 99. And I was the only new person that year. Well, the only new actor. Ali was a new writer. But yeah, so you just get like...
Who's on the cast when you get in
when you
there?
just said SNL, I just got a little tense.
This show comes out on Tuesdays, and to me, I just realized, I was like, oh, this is like a new way to change Tuesdays for me, because Tuesdays used to be writing night at SNL, where it was like the dread of Tuesdays. Like, oh no, this is the night where I have to try to get on the show, because you audition basically every week, and I haven't written anything yet, and I'm so tired, and I'm gonna let the host down. I'm gonna let myself down. Now that there's like this show comes out on Tuesdays, I don't know. There's just something like, but yes, I think people are aware of the dread. But what just came up for you? Which particular type of dread?
I don't know. I just thought of like walking in there and like picturing the hallway. And I think I thought you were going to like go to the audition, but no, then I'm like right in that hallway. I'm in the hallway, Amy. I'm in the hallway.
Stay in the hallway. Stay in the hallway. Stay there. Rachel.
I can smell the office. I can
feel your feet on the ground.
Here comes Lauren down the hallway. Okay.
So you're there. That's hard, being the only new cast member.
That was hard.
Yeah.
I cannot tell a lie. That was hard because that place is like, well, I think, some people, like when Will Ferrell came in, I think is the year that like a whole bunch of new people, they were like the freshman class. And then you're all like in it together. But when you come in new, like no one's like, here's how this works and and it's just, you're kind of just like, hey guys, what's, wandering the halls kind of.
It definitely feels like the high school version of like your tray in the lunchroom, like where do I sit?
Yeah, for sure. Tina was there, so that was good because she knew how already, she knew the system, obviously, but like I had someone to write with. Yeah. Because some people come in there and they're great, but if they don't know how to write, like also the writing for SNL is very different from writing for Second City. Yeah. Like a scene that killed at Second City, you couldn't get it on SNL because it's just different, like, and at the time, you're like, but this is awesome, and why don't you? But now, like, with more wisdom, I'm like,
why? Why wouldn't it work?
Just because, like, a scene in the theater, like, could take longer to get going. You didn't need to have, like, laugh, laugh, laugh. Like, it's just like, people in the theater are just, like, into seeing this character kind of do their thing. But at SNL, it had to be, like, you need laughs, like, off the bat. Yes. We need to know what this is right away. And, I don't know, just one thing.
Do you remember the first scene on SNL that, like, were getting laughs and you thought like it's working, like that felt like
no. Gosh, like I don't remember the first, because I remember the first few times I got on, like I wasn't even, I like left my body, so I don't remember like this is going really well. I was just like I'm on, like that kind of thing. Yeah. But well, the very first show I wasn't in, like the season premiere, whatever. Right. And like you've told all your friends, like, I'm on and like, everyone's watching it, your scene gets cut, like it does. And then the next week, the same thing happened. Scene got cut. So it was like the third week.
Who was the host? Do you remember?
The one that I got on was, I should know this. Oh my God. Well, I know the first one was Jerry Seinfeld. Then it was Norm Macdonald. And then it was, and does not compute. Oh my God, I don't.
Well, it's funny. The brain remembers trauma. So you remember the two shows that you were on.
Dana Carvey? I'm going to have to go
They're
look.
going to do those three guys in a row. What year was it, Dratchy?
It was 1999, third episode.
Okay, this will be a fun game.
Dana Carvey?
Okay, I'm going to have you guess the musical guest because that's always fun too.
Oh my God,
so 1999, I don't remember anything.
No.
1999 SNL hosts. And don't worry, we're going to keep all this.
But let me tell you one cool thing, though. I just heard that. Wait, let me tell you one cool thing, though.
Please.
Please. The very first musical guest was David Bowie. And when I've told this before, but when I was getting my photo taken for like the very first opening credits, like it was on the stage, like in 8H, and David Bowie it was Thursday, he was rehearsing with the band. So like I'm getting my picture taken and he's right over there singing Rebel, Rebel. I mean, I have chills every time I think about that because that was just like, I mean, I don't even have words for like the surrealness.
That's to have a soundtrack of that moment for your life, and it's David Bowie playing. It's
David
live.
Bowie, icon, yeah. So I remember that.
Should we tell the Black Crowes
story?
Okay,
so one time, so I don't do drugs at all. So and then one time, the Black Crowes were the musical guests, and someone in the music department came up to me, he's like, hey, do you want... That's my drug offer voice. Hey, do you want whatever you call it?
Joint?
Not a joint, but just like a hit off a joint.
I see.
And I don't know, I've tried it a couple times. It's never really worked. I've never really dug it. And then I was like, okay, sure. So I took like one puff off of this Black Crowes. Am I going to get sued? The Black Crowes pot. And
the Black Crowes pot.
I took a hit off the Black Crowes pot, and my cousin was visiting me, my cousin Zach, and I came back to the table and I was like, oh, I guess this is like, I'm really high right now. And I was so embarrassed because like, it was my little cousin. And I never, ever get high. And then I came back and I was kind of like, I don't really remember if I told him or not.
He didn't. He might not even.
I don't even know. But that was my one like.
I remember you telling me you couldn't get up from your chair.
Oh, I don't remember that. But it's possible. It's possible.
That you were kind of stuck.
I was just like, really like. Anyway, and that's why I don't do drugs.
I mean,
no, I'm just not into that feeling, I guess. But
no, you're not into that feeling.
Only if it's from the Black Crowes. And then, yes, Chris Robinson, call me.
I just love that was the particular
also, it wasn't
strand.
Like, it wasn't like I was like partying with the Black Crowes. It was like secondhand, made it down to the music guy, and I was told it was from the Black Crowes.
But it's so interesting that you took the hit that you.
I know. I don't know why. I was feeling a little jaunty that night. I don't know.
No, but drugs is not your thing.
It's
never
so
has
not
been
my
your
thing.
thing.
No,
Now,
I like a margarita.
Like a margarita.
I knew you would. Okay, yes.
Or perhaps you like to sail to the Pinot Grigio
Islands. Amy and I will occasionally sail to the Pinot Grigios.
We'll text each other and say, "Shall we take a trip
to the Grigios?" Yeah, yeah.
And then when you were at SNL, like I feel like we got it. I was thinking today about all the stuff we got to do together, and we got to do a lot of dumb,
so fun
stuff.
Oh my gosh!
But and I was thinking, it was like, I mean, in many ways, I wish we had. I wish we had more time together when I was more experienced there, because I was new and kind of stressed, and you were the junior to my senior, and I felt like I loosened up more and figured out how to like just have more fun as I got older there.
Yeah.
But we did get to do some fun stuff together.
Well, first of all, you were in the original Debbie Downer, and that was so fun. I mean, just to be laughing there with you.
Well, you bring this up, and I ask this question to people on this podcast, and I truly feel like it is because of Debbie Downer that I ask this question. Again, I owe you a lot of money, and thank you for building this podcast with me. But Debbie Downer, I've said it many times before, was and is the thing that I go to. Also, maybe now replaced by the clip of this podcast.
I watched the clip a lot of times, and I just wanted to clarify: I don't go like watch my work. Like I don't go watch like a movie I did, because like I just like to have it in my head. Mm-hmm. But that, it's like I said, it was like seeing your biggest crack up.
Yes.
And it's just like I have to laugh every time I watch it.
Me too. And Debbie Downer was like that for me during very dark times, because it was the combination of us all having fun. Your like the way in which you were physically trying to hold it together, like the way like the laugh was like something you were trying to hold in, combined with the zoom in. And the sound effect.
And we've watched it so many times. Like, Emily Spivey knows every single, she's like, this is the part where your lip starts quivering. Because there's one part where at the very beginning I'm going, and then there's the part where something falls backstage and I look away. My eyes dart over there. Like, we know every single moment.
It is. It's like the Zapruder film, like frame by frame.
Yes.
And it proves, it got me, it's such a serotonin boost. Before we move on, talk to us about like, who did you write Debbie Downer with, and how did it start?
Oh, like the origin of
the origin of.
Oh, okay.
People will want to know.
So, well, it really started because I went on a vacation by myself that had been suggested to me by a therapist. And I often leave that detail out. But since I'm on this one-on-one Amy interview, no, I said it like once or twice, but usually I leave that part out for the masses. But no, not like this number one podcast, masses. But no, she kept saying like, take a trip by yourself. And I was like, why? Like, I don't want to do that. I could go with friends. Like, I don't want, and I just kind of took it as like doctor's orders. Like, I just sort of like, I'm doing this. And I like self-propelled myself to the jungles of Costa Rica. No, but I wanted to pick somewhere that it wasn't going to be like honeymooners. And like, I wanted to pick somewhere that was like, just like, I don't know, somewhere kind of remote, I guess. Yeah. So it was like very remote. It was in the Osa Peninsula. You had to take like the big plane, then you take the smaller plane, then you take the 2-hour Jeep drive. I mean, I was going deep out of society.
And each time they were like, it was like Barbara Padilla one.
Well, no. So I picked this. It was like this eco lodge thing. So I went there, and then it was just like so there was like these it wasn't like a lot of people there, and it was actually really cool. Like, and I did meet really cool people, and I met these two sisters that like they were older, but they're like my age right now. But I mean the age I am now, and they were sort of told me like the rudimentary fundamentals of what is later known as The Secret. Like, did I tell you when I was on this trip?
People should know Dratch knew The Secret before anyone knew The Secret.
And I learned it from the jungles of Costa Rica from two white ladies that were from Colorado. But anyway, so they were just weird, because you're like chatting, and I gotta say, like, hats off to the suggestion, because I never would have talked to strangers if I was with a friend, right?
Right.
So I'm like having this conversation, and these women were telling me about like, basically like what's the law of attraction, I guess, but they put it like, if you think on positive things, and if you're focusing on lack, you'll attract lack, basically. But then it almost like the whole thing got like sealed, because then we were on this like, you could do like nature walks or whatever, and we were on this like walk on the beach, like with the little like, it wasn't like a group, it was like whoever's here and wants to go on this thing. And this woman was saying like there were these like beautiful birds overhead, these like scarlet macaws, and this like way up in the sky. And this woman goes, I want a feather to bring home for my daughter. And I swear, like 20 seconds later, from like way, way up high, this feather starts to just go bloop, 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 and it falls down. We all like kind of see it like boop, 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 and it lands like right at her feet.
Whoa.
Amy doesn't believe in any of this stuff.
I do. That's cool.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But
I believe in manifesting.
That was cool, though. So then I was just like, sold. I'll join your cult. Okay, this isn't anything about Debbie Downer. This is just other stuff on that trip.
Sure.
But anyway, then the Debbie Downer story is that when later it was like sitting at dinner, like you're with randos that are there, and people just making chit chat, and someone said like, where are you from? And I said New York, and then they said like, oh, were you there for 9/11? And it was like 3 years after 9/11. It wasn't like it just happened. It was kind of and then I was kind of like, yeah. And then like it's kind of like just like in Debbie Downer, you had to like get the conversation back, because it was like vacation times,
right?
And then like about a week later, after I got home, I was like out listening to some band, which isn't something I usually do, but I think that's kind of interesting, because like doing something you don't usually do, and then your brain is kind of like, I don't know, you're not on your usual channels, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I just had that idea of this kind of based on that, like a Debbie Downer popped into my head of like,
yes.
and then, which this is kind of just talking creativity.
Yeah.
I found at SNL, you couldn't just go in there and like, okay, let's think of a scene. Like it had to be like moments like that. Like, and to me, that only happened like once or twice a year, which is why like you might sit there at home and be like, why isn't there like SNL, man? But it's like thinking of really original characters that kind of like hit on something. It's not something you can like steer the ship on. It's like, to me, like it has to like vibe out with you. I don't know.
Yes, you have to be like, you have to your point, you have to like keep the channel open and be, like find the muse and like let it find you. It just can't be like churned out.
Exactly.
And how?
But then,
then
I took it to Paula Pell, who we wrote with often and is hilarious, and everyone knows Paula now because I love Paula's like out there more in front of the camera. But anyway, and then we were on writing night. We were trying to write it. We set it in an office, and it just kind of wasn't really flowing. It just wasn't really jiving, and then we were like, maybe we need to put her somewhere really happy. So then we thought of Disney World, of course, happiest place on earth. And then while we were writing it, like when we were like, of course, Paula was cracking me up with these one-liners and everything. And then we started just going like, wah, wah, like just for ourselves. And then we were like, what if we put that in the scene with the actual trombone sound? So then for read through, we had, I don't remember if we had like the live person or someone just had done it, but then at read through, like it killed. But then you never know because sometimes something can kill at the table. And then when we were in dress rehearsal, Jamie and Horatio were kind of laughing. And I was thinking, like, you guys, like, I feel like this could work. Like, keep it together, guys. And then, like, on air, I just flubbed one of the lines. And then I don't even know. I guess I was, like, so nervous. And,
sure.
And then
but
we all started laughing.
But thankfully, you just, like the good Pisces fish, like, you just, like, you went along for the, like, it's so joyous watching it because it is just it's like what real live TV is supposed to feel like. Like it just felt like a special moment in time. And also, I mean, you are such a good performer that you were able to like do it and enjoy doing it at the same time. It was like sometimes when people are stressed, it's stressful to watch.
Yes,
like it's not good to watch.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't seem stressed in that moment.
Well, I love watching performers that like, this is what like, you know, I feel like I've had so much time now that I'm older to like think of like what makes a good comedian and everything like that. And like, I love watching people like, you can tell that underneath it, they're also like laughing inside. Like, I mean, better to keep it inside, but I mean and I feel like you have that. Like I was just talking about you, I forget like in what context, but like you are always like, you can see the joy of performing. Like there's two levels happening. There's like what you're performing and then this sort of joyful, like under bubbling that's also happening. Like I just like Steve Carell just popped into my mind as like someone that like you can see the fun happening behind the Will Ferrell. Oh
like
my gosh.
The mischievous dance underneath it where they're having fun. Circling all the way back to Debbie Downer and all the way back to the question that I ask my guests. This brings up the person that I spoke to earlier before this podcast.
Oh.
So, you know, we always like to talk behind people's backs. I talked to the great Kevin Cahoon about you today.
You did? Oh my God. I was wondering who my person was going to be.
And because I want him to lead us into Broadway, which we're going to next.
Okay,
Rachel.
okay, yeah.
This Virgo has a plan, okay? And I'm taking you there, babe. I'm taking you there. I got notes. Okay, I'm aware of the time. I'm aware of the time.
Okay. I could hang all day. But.
No, I'm just kidding. But I talked to Kevin and he had a couple really good questions for you. And one was and it's a similar question to what we ask on the podcast is like, if when you're feeling that, when Rachel is feeling like that Debbie Downer feeling, what do you do to get yourself up out of it? And that's a question we ask here, which is, what do you watch, listen to? How when you've got der blues, as we like to call it, how do you get up out of it? What makes you laugh? You know, for me, it is a lot of Debbie Downer and clips. I mean, it is a lot of you, Rachel.
That's so nice.
It is you. Like, you really get me out of the dumps. You really do. You're like an elevator that helps me get up out of there. Uh-oh.
Tears?
tears? But you really
That's so
you shoot me
sweet.
way up, and it's because of the laughter.
You do that for me.
Is there anything else that like you like to go to just like
the bottom of a tequila bottle?
I go to the worm.
The worm.
I eat the worm.
I ate the worm.
That was such an 80s thing. Like she ate
I
the
know.
worm.
I know. Now there's no worms anymore.
No, there's no worms.
Let's see. I forgot that you asked this, and like,
That's okay.
I feel like I don't have like healthy. I'm serious. I mean, honestly, the real thing that elevates me is like meeting with friends out in New York. Like that's my honest answer.
Yes, you like
The
to socialize.
Margs nights and like meeting with my lady friends. That's like because like I feel like I have this great various groups of people, but they're all like fun. But then like I love a friend who is really fun and like sees the joy in life and like can laugh through like the foibles and all that, but also has the side that's like, the amateur psychologist, like, that we can help each other out. And if you like, I like if you show up to a friend and you don't have to be anything other than what you're feeling. Cause like there's certain friends where you can just do that. You can come in and you be like, I'm not going to be bringing my A game. And like, that's fine. And I like not having to exert extra energy to pretend I'm like somewhere I'm not. And I hope that like, I'm not for other people too. But,
that's exactly how I described you, by the way, to Kevin. Exactly that, which is you are a friend like in good times and bad, in sunny weather and stormy weather, and you just can always show up as the version of yourself. That's exactly how I described you.
Well, that's what I like in others too.
Yeah.
So, this isn't like a joy thing. This is more like a mind set thing.
Ooh.
No, like a settle your mind. Like I like doing those word puzzles in the New York Times. Like that's my ritual is I do all those because it sort of makes me like forget all the. You can't be like emotional when you're trying to think of the word.
Well, I would say as a person that has now known you for 30 years, has vacationed with you, has, our kids are friends, like we are in a lot of different ways in life together, that those kind of like quiet, puzzly moments is a Dratch recharge.
Yeah, that is a recharge, yeah.
Because you are a very interesting combo of introvert, extrovert. Like you are very extroverted and especially on stage, but you're every day, like you definitely need quiet time.
I guess so.
Would you say
yeah,
no?
I don't know. I think I used to need less of it. I think now I'm a little more like, I just need like the recharge moment. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin also had a question too that leads us into Broadway.
Okay.
And you were in an incredible show called POTUS. Tell us about that experience, what it was like working with those women and what it was like being nominated.
Well, I mean, it was a lot like the mindset of it was this comedy with all women, and I just got like called up to do this show with Susan Stroman, who I had done a few readings for, and the part was very much like the clown in the show, so I got to do a lot of like physical, just like make up your own bits and all this stuff, and it felt very much like being back at Second City, like in the best way, and also I love like. The theater schedule is no joke, as any Broadway person will tell you. But because, you have to kind of like sign your life away. Like you're not going out on the weekends, all that stuff. But the thing that I love about theater, it's just you and the audience. Like there's no one saying like, we think this should go this way. Or like, of course, there's a director in developing this part. But once you're up and running, it's just like that feeling, that connection of you and the audience. Like, and that was like, harkens back to Second City. Like, oh, how long am I holding this laugh? Or, oh, if I do this little tiny thing, it gets laugh. Like, I love all that stuff. So it was just very freeing and fun. Yeah.
And you loved the women you did it with.
Yeah.
You guys became really good friends.
It was a very disparate group that was all like meshed really well together. Yeah, it was.
And where were you when you got your Tony nom for your Broadway debut?
Well, the nominations come out like in the morning and you can just like watch it online. I was just like, okay, I'll check this out, and then like they said my name and then, your phone starts going off the hook. And I mean, that was something like, as a comedian, like comedy often doesn't get like award stuff, but all that to say, like, I didn't expect, like getting nominated was never anything that I thought would be happening.
the
Because
Tonys-
when you're in comedy, you just don't really think
But
like
the
that.
Tonys are an exception, I think. The Tonys often do give it up for good comedic performances.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I think they really are they really respect the
Yeah.
craft.
They do. The craft, yes.
So Kevin had a question about you being like young Rachel. Like, what were some theater performers, some musical, some shows that like, I think his question was like, what are the top 3 pieces of theater that you like really inspired you when you were young?
Ooh.
You know,
yeah.
like maybe scratch some little
Right.
sparkly.
Well, I guess as mentioned, Annie.
Can we just for 1 second talk more about Annie?
Okay.
Because Annie, so many female parts, so many parts for girls.
Right.
Like that alone, like a lot of shows just don't have a lot of parts. It's like there was, Rachel and I were both in Once Upon a Mattress.
We were. Amy had the lead and I had the boring part. But we weren't in the same production.
We weren't in the same
Both
production.
of our schools. I was in the 6th grade production. Oh, this is funny though. And Amy was in the high school?
Yes, high
Were you
school
a senior?
production, yeah.
And Amy, if
Yeah.
you know Once Upon a Mattress, Amy played Winifred, the princess, the clown.
The clown.
Right? The
Yeah.
clown.
Carol Burnett originated it on
Yes.
Broadway.
And I played this character, Lady Larkin, who's the boring part. But let me also say this, that because it was in 6th grade, the only comedic hook that Lady Larkin has is that she's pregnant, and so they're in a hurry to get married, because they're in the castle. So they need Winifred to get married. Well, in 6th grade, they take out the pregnancy, of course. So I had nothing to play. There's no there. I'm just a lady in waiting. And
What am I gonna
and I
play
wasn't
here?
pregnant. And by the way, I don't even think I knew that the original characters, but they changed the lyrics because the real lyrics were in a little while, you and I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, like kids. And they just like, you and I will be together. That's what they changed it to.
And you're like, I got nothing to play.
I got
here.
nothing to play.
So what? Okay, so Annie.
Okay, Annie, of course. But I think
also orphans.
orphans.
Like
one other thing is with Annie, everyone's like your age.
Yeah.
Like literally, like, if you're 10 and they're 10, you're like, well, how do I get in this? Like that kind of thing, right?
and also a dog.
Uh,
A dog. We
A
love
dog.
a dog. We love a dog.
Did you have the album?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew every single song.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play every part and I loved it so much. Okay, so Annie was one.
Annie. Then also, well, of course, this is probably the same too. Like Gilda Radner, Carol Burnett, Lily Tomlin.
Yes.
I mean,
Just those, and they were on stage. Like they were also.
I mean, I only saw them, obviously. Like, I saw them, like, I mean, when I was really little, my parents watched Laugh-In. And I remember Lily Tomlin being Edith Ann in the giant chair. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. Sorry.
Yes.
And then Carol Burnett, of course.
Yes.
And like, oftentimes we get asked till we're blue in the face about women in comedy, right?
Yes.
And like, I just think growing up, seeing them, you're not thinking like, oh, these are women in comedy. You're just like, this person's really funny and they're being really brash and bold and they're, not afraid to look weird. And here she is with the curtains as a dress and just like, she's like the center of it all. And like, Gilda Radner making all her faces and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So I just think you're just seeing that and you're not delineating,
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, the first season of SNL, that cast, like I did watch, like, John Belushi, Steve Martin. That's why, like, when Steve Martin hosted SNL, it's like, oh my God, Steve. Like, I still have that when I see Steve Martin. I'm like, when I'm hanging out with Steve Martin, no, that never happened.
Not true. I've seen it.
But anyway, I think like seeing them was an influence, but not knowing it at the time, of course. Is
Fame was a big one.
Fame, which of course we all had played that on the piano.
Well,
out
you
here
did.
on my own.
You can play the piano.
No, but I was like plunking it out, but out here on my own.
Oh, Coco.
When I'm down and feeling blue. Everyone wants to hear this. I close my eyes so I can be with you.
And then what was the third one? And then I would
What?
say hair.
Hair.
I don't think enough people are talking about hair these days.
No.
The musical.
No.
Hair was so big.
Yeah.
Like the music and I think like the movie.
The movie. Because that was the first, like, I mean, I just remember, like, excuse me. had like major like tragedy in it and sadness and but also like, yes, I remember seeing that at the Lexington movie theater. And
must have been nice. Must have been
it was nice. We had plush seats. We ate gold. We ate gold covered popcorn.
Each seat had a chandelier and your own butler.
We ate golden popcorn and we drank champagne.
We showed our movies on the side of a barn.
Side of the mall.
The side of the dress barn at the mall. That's where we showed our movies.
The dress band. Oh my God. No, but I remember hair was like emotional but also just the music so good.
So good. Anyway, I think they should do a new production of Hair. But there's no parts in it for us. Like, it's all nubile, young. There's going to be some, like, old lady who tells the kids,
get out of my lawn. No, not get out of the park. I'm walking my dog.
You should cut your hair.
That could be us.
Yeah, that could be us. Or like a businesswoman who comes in and goes, listen, people.
Yeah.
This bunch of hippies could really make us some money. And they go, get out of here, lady. That's what I would play.
That's
like
us.
A New Yorker who comes in to ruin the vibe.
Right.
But you have played so many different things you have played you played a man. You played you were. We love a Marco Polo because we are women of a certain age and we love to Marco Polo each other. You were Marco Poloing me one time wearing having a mustache.
A mustache
In a production of. Was it Anything Goes or no? You were playing
Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls. Yes, I played a dude. Yes. Yeah.
But you've played a lot of different things.
I have
on stage.
Well, I mean, as have you. For we are but the makers of merry. We are but clowns for your pleasure. We don't win Oscars, but we shall make you laugh. No,
we are here but to be the fool.
we are but fools.
Dratch and I always say if we were back in those times, we would definitely be not only jesters, but we'd be the
maids.
We'd be the maids.
Yeah. We'd be the maids at the bottom of the castle.
We'd be the scullery maids at
scrubbing things. I think that's the role that I think I'm born to play is like because I would love to do, I'm going to put this out there, a Broadway thing, like
We're doing the secret.
Like a really, really funny Broadway thing. And maybe I'm playing this person.
Scrubbing.
This is my aspiration.
For listeners, Dratch is just making a face and she's scrubbing.
Scrub on Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to scrub my way to a Tony. You listen? You listen, you big muckety mucks.
I had the Jonas Brothers on and we were singing Les Mis. And they were like, you would be really good in Master of the House. I was like, I know. Ever since I was 20 years old, I'd be the old lady in Master of the House.
Oh, by the way, you can cut this, but
we will.
But I got to audition. I made the mistake of auditioning for Les Mis on Broadway for that part, and I'm like, I can't sing, right? And they're like, just go in. And then I even went to like a voice lesson.
Sure.
But like that part is like, you really have to sing.
Really,
like,
and it's an incredible part. And incredible female actors have played it. Incredible singers. But it's definitely the most comedic part of Les Mis.
But you have to have a good voice.
Yes.
Which I like just realized when I was in front of these people in the room. Just like, because they didn't just give me the Master of the House song. There's another song that's like very complicated.
Yeah.
And I just like I skulked out. I will stick to making merry without song, if it please you.
If it please
I
the
shan't
king.
be singing
Does
for the
it please
king
the
again.
King for me to not sing.
Yes.
Cut to us is like, how do you like your potatoes?
We could do a duo.
We could
play maids.
By the way,
together.
that would be a very funny idea for a show. Is like upstairs, downstairs. It'd just be like called downstairs,
and it's just
the people,
us.
Yeah, and we're just washing clothes,
and we have dirt on our faces for sure.
100%.
You've been having grooves this morning.
Okay, and the last thing I just wanted to talk about, because we talked about it a little bit, is your woo-ness.
Yes.
Because we're going to talk about your podcast, your great podcast, Woo Woo.
And Amy was a guest on it. And
absolutely
one of my favorite episodes. You need to listen to Amy on Woo Woo, my podcast.
There's so many great stories on there. And you are very open to psychic experiences. You are not judgmental in any way. I would say that.
Oh, that I'm not judgmental?
No,
okay,
you're not.
yeah.
And you have, I would say you are also a little bit psychic, you have that channel open. Speaking of channels, what is that woo-woo world?
So I started this podcast called Woo Woo, and I always say I'm not really woo woo because I don't live my life like I got to ask my psychic. I don't have a psychic, but anyway, I always feel the need to say that. I know, but I always feel the need to say I'm not like super woo. But then I started doing this, and it's definitely making me more woo woo with the stories I'm hearing. Yeah. But the reason I thought of doing it is because I just had sort of collected these stories from friends over the years, and I was like, oh, these stories are really cool. Mm-hmm. Would you come on and tell this? So that's kind of how it started. Mm-hmm. And then you came on, which was really fun. And you're not like a huge woo believer, but you're not like totally shut down.
No,
but Amy came on and talked about the Enneagram, which she lives her life by. I mean,
for those who care, Rachel is an Enneagram 9, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
The ultimate 9.
The ultimate 9.
Peacekeeper, peacemaker.
But yeah, so I guess what else do I say about it?
Well, I was going to say that there's a couple woo-woo things that have happened with us. I feel like a little tiny woo. Most of my woo-woo things have happened with you.
Ooh.
And we were pregnant at the same time. Our sons are close in age, and I'm happy to say real friends, which is so great. And I can remember a very hot summer where you and I were waddling around the city, both really pregnant. And you can tell from our height, we carried out front. There's not a lot of play. So I just remember us being going to movies, watching movies because it was so hot out, and going to a psychic to talk about our kids. And you brought me to this really cool psychic who, you just have introduced me to a lot of just give this version of life a try, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yes. It's kind of why not believe that thing was not a coincidence? I don't know.
Yes.
I think it's almost like what we're saying about the writing sketches. I think once you're kind of open to it, then you start to see things. I don't know. I don't want to say you get messages or whatever, but I just think the more open you are, the more woo-woo you might become.
Do you think that has anything happened lately that has felt a little in the woo-woo world for you?
Well, first of all, as Amy said with the pregnancy thing, that a psychic told me that I was going to have a kid when I was 43 and I wasn't even with anybody. And,
that's
and then
a cool
that
story.
Happened. So that was my first little this is really strange. But
and you write about it really well in your memoir.
Thank you,
Girl
Amy.
Walks Into a Bar.
And let's see, I don't know, something lately?
I just like to hear your, is there any vibe you're getting right now? What's the vibe of this room?
The vibe of this room is great.
It's good? Okay. Any ghosts in this room?
Outside this room, not good. Things are not good once you leave this room.
The vibes are not good.
Yes, so true. But this room is a good hang, and it's fun and bright and cheery.
But I feel like you do that. I mean, you're really fast at being this isn't a good vibe. This isn't a good hang.
That's true.
This isn't a good. You're really good at reading people fast, or experience, or rooms, or people.
Yeah.
You're I don't like that. I don't get a good feeling from that.
Yeah, and I start to again, older, I get listen to that. Mm-hmm. If you get that feeling of you're allowed to not hang there or whatever. I don't know.
And last question, are you afraid of zombies? Would you, in a zombie movie, how would you? Ooh. This is my new question. I'm just thinking about it right now, but maybe I'll ask people moving forward because Dratch, you're always inspiring me.
I might just freeze. Is that what you're about? I think you're about to say.
Well, I was going to say it kind of gets into conflict styles.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But it is
sometimes I think with conflict I freeze.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't always the bad choice. You don't you're not fanning the flame.
I've just noticed it about myself though. Mm. So if zombies were coming, I guess I'd freeze.
You'd turn into a statue.
Yes.
And you'd hope that they went by you.
But we can't end on this note.
No, we can't. We can't end on this. We're going to cut this.
We can't end on
you know what?
the zombie.
Let's sing the song from Chadwick's.
Oh, okay. The chant?
So Chadwick's was an ice cream place that Dratch and I worked at.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time, but I have to say probably the highest percentage of SNL people from any ice cream place.
Probably.
Too.
Yeah.
And
it was a purple building.
Okay, I'm gonna do a lip balm break before we sing. Do you need any?
No, I think I'm okay.
So it was a purple building.
It was a purple building.
Old-timey ice cream.
You had to wear a styrofoam barbershop quartet hat.
We often had a kazoo.
We often had a kazoo. And I feel like we were both attracted to the drama and the showmanship. The showmanship of Chadwick's. Because when it was someone's birthday, you got a free sundae.
Yeah.
And they did not check. So people came in a lot.
That's right.
With birthday sundaes. But then there was a little birthday chant that you did.
And
it went something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to have you here at Chadwick's today, but we're especially happy to have Amy.
Rachel.
Because she came here to celebrate her birthday today. So with the sound of the drum, please join in singing Amy a loud, embarrassing happy birthday.
Then they would order a giant ice cream, and it was called
the Belly Buster.
And it was carried out by
two men holding a stretcher thing with a big bowl in the middle of it that had, and then this was a separate thing. If you ordered the Belly Buster, there was an announcement for the Belly Buster.
And it went
something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to have you here at Chadwick's today
to introduce you to the Belly Buster.
10 scoops of ice cream, 5 different toppings, mounds and mounds of whipped cream, cherries and nuts, Chadwick's own Belly Buster. And then we'd do drum, ooga, ooga. And then the two guys would come up, the thing in the stretcher, pretending to struggle under its weight. And then it would land at the table. And if you ate, rumor had it, the lore was that if you ate the Belly Buster by yourself, you got it for free.
That's
right.
Do you
remember that?
Yep. And there used to be teen boys
vomiting in the bathroom
and drinking the ice cream juice in an attempt to get it done in time.
Yeah, the vomit was separate from the ice cream juice.
Yeah. The teen boys were trying to get it done, and I don't think I ever saw it happen.
I don't think I did either.
Lore says it happened.
Now Chadwick's no longer exists.
Nope, it's just in a landfill filled with ghosts.
Rachel, I'm going to interview it for my podcast. The Ghost of Chadwick's.
But that's a good ending. That is
okay. Yeah.
Love you, Drucci.
Love you. This was fun.
So fun. Thanks for doing it, buddy. And thank you again. I really do owe you a lot, always in my life and on this show. So come back anytime and bring your headphones always.
Hold on.
Well, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay, there. Well, now they're all clean.
We still can't get them on.
This isn't a good ending. Okay.
Well, it is still hard for you to get them on, though.
Okay.
Here we go. And...
What the? Oh, here we go.
Nailed it.
Dratch out.
Thank you, Dratch. You are the best. My baby Drooch, my little Ray Ray. Thank you for coming on. And, we talked a lot about a lot of things, the idea that, life can be a series of interesting and unexplainable events. And it can be really woo-woo if you let it. And so as part of this Polar Plunge, I do want to just remind everyone to check out Rachel Dratch's podcast, Woo Woo. Her and her co-host, Irene, they listen to people's interesting, ghosty, spooky stories. They get into those chills that you get when something weird or unexplainable happens. And so check out that podcast. I have gone on the podcast and I have said that I've never seen a ghost, and I'd like to keep it that way. So I'm fine with that. But if you have seen a ghost, contact Woo Woo and not me. Okay? But good for you. And it's not a competition, but I am glad I didn't. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye. You've been listening to Good Hang. The executive producers for this show are Bill Simmons, Jenna Weiss-Berman, and me, Amy Poehler. The show is produced by The Ringer and Paper Kite. For The Ringer, production by Jack Wilson, Kat Spillane, Kaya McMullen, and Aleya Zenieris. For Paper Kite, production by Sam Green, Joel Lovell, and Jenna Weiss-Berman. Original music by Amy Miles.